I'm going to break down a review that I just received from a recent closing that I had this year, just to kind of give you, the consumer, the person that found this channel, a better idea of how I work with people, and what better way to break down what someone has actually said about me, and how it worked, so that you can decide or actually use this as a resource of who you want to use, whether that be myself, or another realtor in the area. You might get some nuggets here that might help you, specifically to San Luis Obispo County on the Central Coast, of who you would like to work with. And, this might give you a better idea of what it's like to work with me. So I'm going to break down this review that I received. And so the first sentence, so it was really nice of them, very kind, to start off by saying, knowledgeable, friendly, responsive, and detailed, perfectly describe Vernice. So I do have knowledge of the area. If you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I grew up here, raised my kids here, and I'm still here. I'm an Arroyo Grande High School graduate, which is in South County in San Luis Obispo county. We have North County, the scenic beaches, we have San Luis proper, and then we have South County. So I grew up in the South County area, in the 5 cities is what we call it. I'm very familiar with the South County, and I do business all throughout the county. And I do bring in other agents also to assist me if it's a 45-minute drive or farther out than where I'm at. I'm just a beach girl, so I'm closer to the beach. And I do make it a priority to respond to you, because I think communication with any realtor, any business professional that you utilize, should give you some sort of quick response if it's obviously an urgent situation that we're in during the transaction, or, just like a medical professional, an attorney, a doctor, your CPA, your tax person, things in that arena should give you a response within a reasonable time. So I do pride myself on being super available, because I am full-time, committed to you. We lock arms, and we are working together in the transaction. And I do make sure that I can give you all the details pertaining to the neighborhood or what's important to you. We do a deep dive on that, so I'm going to give you as many details about the transaction, and just give you the expectation of what's next and how it all works. Every neighborhood is different. And we'll get into that a little bit more. So just breaking that down, the second sentence there is, after finding her great Central Coast real estate YouTube channel, my wife and I met with her and told her that we were looking for something specific and weren't in a rush. So I hope that this just displays to you that obviously I love this channel. I've been working on it for a few years. I felt like this was a good platform to help people that are actually intentionally researching the Central Coast area. And this is, part of the Central Coast, San Luis Obispo County, and then northern Santa Barbara County, which is like Santa Maria, Orchid, Guadalupe. I can definitely refer throughout the state of California, specifically the Central Coast. But this is what this channel is about. So if you have found me on here, it just makes me happy. There has been a lot of reach outs this summer from all over the place, and it's been just so fun. And a lot of you are giving me some warning of, getting it over here in the next few months or whatnot. So that's really is a great thing, that we can start working on things ahead of time, so that we can keep our pulse on the market. And what I usually do at the beginning is do what's called a discovery call. So you can book that in the calendar link that you see below, or you can just send me an email. The more detailed you are of your specifics, the better that is. And this couple here, Eric and Kathy, they were very detailed, and they had already been searching before. But again, since Google owns YouTube, I came up on their feed, and that's where we connected. And, reaching out to someone you don't know, is a little concerning, or, just that you don't know if this is a person that's going to be a good fit for you. So these videos should help you get to know me a little bit better. I'm not going to be for everybody, but I am a pretty good resource is what I hope to be for you if you want to reach out. Again, so I'm just breaking this down so that you hear it from someone else what their experience was, because I think that's important, and maybe this will kind of help you a little bit more. So again, the channel is one of my huge things. It's something I'm very proud of and really want to be a resource for everybody out there. And yeah, they said, they weren't in any rush. And that was fine. So let's go on to the third sentence here. Brittany supported that, and over the next year, so we took a year, she worked closely with us until we found the perfect properties. Yes, they had already been doing some research, and then we talked about specific areas that they wanted. And the beautiful thing with them is that they also did their part. Like if something was, once we honed in on some neighborhoods that they were very interested in, something comes up on the market, they would drive down from, they were a few hours of a drive, and would get over here for the open houses, and, check it out. And that's how we worked. And it was a beautiful thing. So they also did their part too, as buyers, not being in a rush, trying to get a feel for different neighborhoods, different areas. So that was very, very helpful. So if there's anything that you want to see on the channel that you haven't seen, I know medical is a big thing that's come up on my last few phone calls. So I will be working on a video for that, but please put in the comments anything that you're specifically looking for, because that's also very helpful for me. Because sometimes when you don't know of a certain area, I can send you a video and then that can answer some questions for you. So yeah, this is why I love doing the YouTube thing. Now let's go on to the next sentence. Then she made sure the close process went smoothly and referred great local service providers to help with our post-close needs. So yes, so when you work with a realtor in the area, please be sure that they know, different people to help you out. So obviously, we're going to have handymen, we're going to have gardeners, we're going to have, our home inspectors, our roofers, termite people. So all of those resources I have, and not only did I have that for this particular transaction with them, we had to get them in touch with a 1031 tax deferred exchange company. They needed an accommodator for a 1031 reverse exchange, and get all the details and get them hooked up with that. And since they were a great couple here moving into the area, we needed to get them 2 properties for their purposes. So the second property, we needed to get a long-term rental company to assist them. And for the other property, I needed to find them a mid-term rental person to accommodate that need. So that happened. So those were 3 pretty big things to get them situated with, and they really enjoyed the people that they worked with. It was all a good fit. So that, of course, makes me happy to know that they're well taken care of. That's very important to me, because I want you to get into the area, get rooted, and be well taken care of. That's what I want to do for you. That's why you are hiring me as your real estate professional. So we got them all done that. Not only that, is we had to do mold remediation on the property. So I handled that for them from start to finish, and coordinated that while they were still living, hours away. I was able to get the contractor in there, get the remediation done, and get it certified for them. So that's one transaction, and that's a lot of resources that we had to put together. So, be sure that the realtor you're working with has those things under their belt. Those aren't things that we normally like to handle, but because of health issues and things like that, and just to bring the house to where it needed to be. Don't let that word scare you. If it's out of your comfort zone, then that's fine. You don't need to buy the house. However, we can take it. I've done foundation repairs, properties. So, that is a thing. And again, what's your comfort level? What do we need to get in line? So in this particular transaction, that's what we needed to do. And I needed to get a roofer out there because one of the properties was on a golf course, and we had to get the roofer to come out to see how many had gotten hit by the golf balls. And, every transaction is going to be very specific. But again, having the resources, being full-time and all that, that's what you need to be sure that that realtor that you decide to work with when you're coming into a new area, that they are, equipped with those types of resources for you to, feel comfortable with the purchase and things that come up, because no house is perfect. And, some are going to be in better maintenance than others. So again, these resources are huge, and I was happy to refer that out to my local businesses. And, being from the community, of course, I love to help my small businesses and have the right people in place to be sure that you are well taken care of. All right. So one of the most important things that I would recommend to you as a buyer, no matter where you're buying in the state of California, is research your insurance. It is a difficult thing to put in place, pricing, what kind of coverage you want to have. So again, how this was a smooth transaction as well is because my clients here took it upon themselves. Not only did they call the people that I recommended here locally, is they also made their own phone calls, did their own research. Same thing, I had another couple from Colorado relocate. They ended up using Geico of all insurance companies. And it's just, that's something that you're really going to just have to put your patience hat on, block out some time to make phone calls, during the day. First thing in the morning is always the best, to catch people fresh and get the information. And if you don't like who you're speaking with, get on the phone with somebody else. But again, people have been using local people that I've recommended, and then have also found their own insurance. So insurance is huge. Be sure and lock that down. As soon as you have an address of a property, send it to the agent that you're working with. And again, that's another resource that I have, but also you might have to do another deep dive yourself and do some research to see what's going to work for you with the premium and finding the right coverage. Okay, so be sure and take note of that one. All right, so another reason that we were able to do a smooth transaction for them on this deal is that I do have long-standing relationships with escrow officers, the other agents in the area. The specific area that they bought, I had worked there over 20 years ago. I've known that agent for that amount of time. So there was a lot of, just good, solid relationships to help keep the deal together. Because, buying the home gets emotional. And there was some emotional things going on in the transaction. You have different personalities, you have different expectations from the people that we're working with. And so you are hiring a professional to handle emotions, because it's buying a home is very emotional. And my job is to keep everybody calm. And if there is a problem, I need to find a solution. So a couple of things came up, and we just all, took it in, digested, and came up with a solution and kept moving forward. Okay. So that's a very, very important component to whoever you end up working with, that they have that skill and can help you remain calm and take good care of you. Okay. And what's important to you gets dealt with. All right. So the last sentence here is they have, my wife and I cannot speak highly enough of Vernice. Well, I can't speak highly enough of them because they had to do their part. You as a buyer need to do your part. So there were documents that they were sure to respond to as soon as they received it in their electronic signature email. If that's a way, that's typically the way we're doing business now. And they took the time to read everything carefully. There was a lot of detailed questions from them, and I love that because that means you're reading homeowners association documents, CC&R documents, those are conditions, covenants, and restrictions. So there's pages and pages of things. There's a lot of legal words, but there were specific things that were important to them, and they took the time to be sure that they were going to be comfortable with what's written in the guidelines. They also made phone calls to people to understand, like the president of the HOA, or, you know, to find more and to do a deeper deep dive if needed. So that's on you too. You know, you're buying the home, and this is your hard-earned money. So please take the time to read whatever is put in front of you. And if you don't understand, it's okay. The escrow officer can always meet with you. You know, the lender can always explain something to you if you have a loan in place. I can find more resources for you through the county. We can work together to get you the answers that are important to you. But it's also, you have to take in the responsibility of asking the questions that are important to you so that we don't miss anything. So those are things that I highly recommend. And that's why, you know, it's also for you as a buyer to take that responsibility to ask the questions that are important to you so that we don't miss anything. And that's my job. That's what your realtor, your real estate professional should be. Again, side by side, making sure that we don't miss anything. As a matter of fact, on one of the properties, there was a home inspection already in place. Something was not there when I did a final walkthrough for them. We saw it, and you know, it wasn't their fault, wasn't the agent's fault, wasn't the seller's fault. Something just happened, and I just took care of it. So there's just different things that, you know, different professionals are going to offer. So just, you know, take a look at who you're working with. Again, I thought, why not review something from the horse's mouth? I'm doing better in getting some of these for you so that you can see who you're working with and get more information from the clients that I'm working with that, you know, really haven't met me and are trying to get to know the area. You know, I love it here. It's like I said, I grew up here, raised my kids here, and I really just want to be the best resource that I can for you. And if I'm not for you, then just be sure that the person that you're working with is full-time, has relationships in the area, and can, you know, really take good care of you. And I think if you're a good person with good judgment of personality, of character, of integrity, then you're going to be just fine. So again, I appreciate you watching the channel. Please leave me a comment below. Let me know what it is I can do for you, what resources you need. All you got to do is text, email, date, evening, weekends. It does not matter. And we'll see you on the next video.